Hey everyone, and welcome to another recording of Our Human Experience, the podcast where we probe individuals to share the stories that made them who they are today.
And try to find the connection that is our human experience. And we are recording today in beautiful Babinda at the Arts Nexus podcast studio. I'm Claire Tierney.
And I'm Anna Winter.
So where can they follow us, Anna?
They can follow us on social media at Our Human Experience on Instagram and Facebook.
ourhumanexperience.com.au. We invite you
to pod binge
Our Human Experience
anytime you like.
Hey Anna, how are you this week?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, fabulous. I can honestly tell you I've had kind of a frustrating week. I've got a brand new phone, and I was like, oh my god, I feel like a 2-year-old. Suddenly I can't work a phone.
Yeah. The technology is moving so. I think technology is moving so fast that we can't keep up with it.
Well, we have to,
I
so
know.
we just throw ourselves at it. Like I nearly threw it at the wall.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Well, my week's been very interesting, actually.
Do tell.
It's interesting when you start doing something that you and then you realise that you shouldn't be doing that.
Ooh.
Because it doesn't necessarily sit well with you, and that it makes you realise what you really want to do. So
being a little cryptic.
I am cryptic.
What happened in a nutshell?
So I've just changed my job.
Yeehaw!
So there's a bit more focus going to be paid on our human experience and some other little passions that I have as well. But doing something that you don't sit well with makes you recognise the things you really want to do.
Oh, absolutely.
So
and we've all got to go through that. So as much as it was probably horrible, it's a really good experience.
Not so pleasant.
To come out with knowing exactly what you will and won't put up with.
Absolutely. Integrity for me is everything. So as you know that, probably bring us on to our next guest this morning.
I'm so excited.
I know, because we're talking about, making change and living our best life, or as Lisa Curry would say in her business that is Happy Healthy You. Let's let her tell us why.
Super. Bring her on?
Yeah, let's bring her on.
Hello, Lisa. Welcome this morning.
Hello, Claire. Hi, Anna. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, definitely. Different places, though. Moray's a little different to this lovely tropical background in Babinda, North Queensland. So, this is one of our, I think we're on our 7th recording. For me, Lisa, having you on was it was just a had to be personally, and then also just you as a human, and obviously we're talking about our human experiences. I believe you as your individual self has so much to share to help so many people, as you already are doing every day, but we just want to hear so much about you on a different level, maybe. So welcome to our
far
human
away.
experience.
So what we really do with all of our guests, Lisa, is we start at the start. We try to bring out where it all began, your life between 0 and 15, let's say, your primary school years, your what they call the formative years, and where you lived in your family, and where you were in your lineup in your family if you had more than one sibling. Things like that, just to start off and place you. So when you're ready.
Okay. Well, I was born in Brisbane, and I'm the middle of 3 children. I have an older brother. He lives in Germany, and I have a younger sister who is a mad sailor. So she's always out on her yacht sailing around. And, I nearly drowned when I was 5. Well, I didn't nearly drown. I could have if Dad wasn't there, but I jumped into the water, and he pulled me out and said to Mum, I think the kids should learn how to swim. So that's when I started going to swimming lessons. And then it was about when I was 10, I went down to the local pool because it was too hot to go to jazz ballet, because living in Brisbane, you know how hot it can be in summer. And I went down to the local pool and was just swimming, just like any little kid swimming around the pool, and caught the eye of the coach that was there. His name was Harry Gallagher, and he had coached Dawn Fraser. So he knew probably technique when he saw it, and he called me over and he said, "Hey, little girl, come over here. Can you swim a few laps for me?" So I swam a few laps, and he said, "Would you like to join my squad?" So I joined his squad. I was there the next day and kind of had no idea what I was doing. But I just kept swimming until he told me to stop. And by the time I was 12, I was one of the fastest 12-year-olds in the world over 50 freestyle.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool. But I think I'm probably jumping forward a little bit, because I know one of the questions that you wanted to ask was what was a big moment in my life that changed my direction. And I think that's what you might ask me anyway. But it was when I was 16, and I'd been to the Commonwealth Games in Canada, and I didn't win an individual medal. So I was pretty disappointed with that. I came home from there and paid $30 to go to a breakfast where you go and listen to a motivational speaker. So not unlike what we're doing now with podcasts these days. So, in those days you'd pay your money and go along. So $30 for me when I was 16 was a lot of money. And I went on my own, which was interesting. I can't remember even thinking why I wanted to go on my own or what made me want to go and see this man. But often when you hear people speak, you enjoy the experience and then you walk away and continue on with your life. But I learned one thing from that guy, and he said something that really stuck with me for the rest of my life. But I thought, if I wanted to be better, if I wanted to win medals, if I wanted to go to the Olympics, I had to. And these were the 3 words that he said in that speech: depend on yourself. Because you can have the best coaches, the best people around you, supportive family, but you're the one that does the work. And Anna, you would know that from your experience.
Absolutely.
No one does it for you.
No.
You have to do every single thing yourself. You have to work hard. You have to turn up. You have to show up. You have to put out every single day. And those words stuck with me forever. And I think that's something that really changed the way that I thought about my life and my attitude about everything that I did.
It's interesting because we did have another guest at one point, and I think what you just said encapsulates it. You have to turn up. Like, you have to be present. You have to actually pull yourself to that point. You have to just start, even if the road is long. You have to turn up. You have to start, do that first thing. And so
the only person you've got to wake up to yourself in the morning is yourself. Like, ultimately, that's what's gonna. It's such a strong point, Lisa. And to obviously have that realization at 16, where some people never have that realization, obviously was a massive turning point for you for the rest of to bring you to where you are today. So
yeah, and I use that now because I've been pretty unmotivated the last couple of years, and I haven't really done that much. And I don't want to go to the gym. I don't feel like doing anything. But I have a beautiful gym here that we use, for retreats. It's a beautiful gym. I have everything. I have no excuses. But still, for me to walk in there to make it happen is difficult. But if you've got to get up, dress up, show up. So you've got to get out of bed, put your shoes on and walk into the gym or walk out into nature, whatever you're going to do. And I always say to people that if you walk into the gym and don't feel like it, just put some boxing gloves on, put some good music on and just box for 5 minutes, and then you're fine. You're really on your way then, because it just gets you going. And I find that boxing is the one thing that can really start me off and get me going.
I think it's got so many things attached to it too, Lisa. Like, life dishes out stuff and it's kind of like, it's that a quick hit of good endorphins that you get a big rush with, it's just like waking up out of your inner thoughts into a physical self. So it's kind of like, I get it, it's like you go through phases if you're aware of movement and exercise. Like you go, you can be right at it, like you were a swimmer for so long, Lisa, like, and then all of a sudden your world would have changed. And like when you know you've got physical ability, or you're trying to be physical and move and make yourself feel healthier, it's kind of like you don't always want to do the same thing. It's just like going for a walk, or that whole thing is it's just the getting going bit. That's the hard bit, isn't it?
Well, that's what I always say. Get up, dress up, show up.
Yeah.
Because if your alarm goes off in the morning and if you don't think about it and just go, you'll be fine. But your brain will talk you out of it more than your body will.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden your brain starts saying, oh, it's raining outside. I don't feel like it. It's warm in bed. Oh, I'd like a coffee in bed.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think about, I spent 23 years at the pool training. And I loved every single moment of it. And to be honest, I'd do it all over again if I had my chance. But, that I think back about how dedicated I was, how motivated I was, and just loved every moment. And it was hard, and I'd drag myself home after every training session. I know I would be exhausted, and you'd get up the next day and you'd do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And then one day you see the reward from it, which was standing up in the blocks and actually swimming to the other end of the pool as fast as you can. And basically that's all it is.
Yeah.
You get up on the blocks and
with
swim as fast as you can.
With Australia behind you.
Sometimes not. You lose a lot of races, and then you win one every now and again. And sometimes I'd be competing, in the middle of nowhere, and no one gives a shit that you're out there racing, but they see you on the big screen and everyone goes, woohoo, she won. But you don't see all the other races where I lost and where it was hard and the training. People don't see all the work, the build up, the years and years of blood, sweat and tears behind it.
So within you saying that, Lisa, like, what was that thing that you went to in the morning when you swam for all that time? Because it had to come from in you, what was the thing that your self-talk, because as you were saying before, head talk, what did you go to? What was your, like your vision for yourself? What drove you to get up every morning to do that early morning training?
When I was swimming, I didn't think about it. I just got up and went because that's what I did. It's what I loved. It's what I was doing every day. I don't know. It's really hard for people to understand how you can love swimming up and down a black line for so many years. But, my friends were there. I loved my coach. We did fun things in training. It was never seemed to be a chore. And I just loved being there every single day. It was my thing.
Yeah.
But now I realize that my thing was a moment in time.
Yeah.
So it's not in my life now, but for 23 years, that's what I did. And
so what's your thing? What's your thing now? Like, I mean, that was your thing. So where did you go from that 20 years to what became your next thing? Because I've got a bit of a prop with me now. Because guys that
I'm getting out of the way.
Some guys at Yorkie's Knob, some Hikili family of mine that I've made up here at Hikili Club, all obviously said to say g'day because they're massively fans of yours. I'll give you that hot tip. But having this in your hand and the ocean behind, talk to us about that.
Yeah. Unbelievable experience. So when I finished swimming, when I finally retired, much to a lot of people's joy, when I hung up my goggles, because people were basically tired of hearing about me or reading about me, whatever. I had 6 or 7 hours a day where I wasn't training anymore in the pool, and Grant was paddling outriggers. And all the girls, the wives and the girlfriends used to go with the regattas with the guys. And one day one of the girls said, why don't we give it a try? So there was, I think, 9 of us. So 3 girls had to miss out every time we went training. So we just took it in turns. And we were super bad. Like, we were not very good at all. We lost every race for about 5 years. But we were really social. Like, we were great in the bar afterwards. We looked the part. We had great costumes.
You were having fun.
We weren't very, yeah, we were, but we weren't very fast. And for me, being a triple Olympian, I used to sit in the boat and I'd be like coming last, and I'd be thinking, I'd be paddling so hard, and I'd be thinking, oh, I wish we could just paddle past somebody, anybody. But we couldn't, because I personally couldn't make that team go any faster.
Yeah.
It had to be all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we didn't win a race in 5 years, which was, I had a fun time, but it was a bit annoying. So then what happened is our coach went overseas for a year, and I said, can I coach the girls? And being a voluntary position, you know, whoever wants to coach, that's fine. So I took over the coaching, and we, you know, the girls they're just normal girls, you know, coming along paddling. But I could see that they had talent. I could see they had potential, but they just weren't showing it in training. So we were out paddling one day. We're out in the ocean. It was beautiful. I remember this morning, and there was 7 canoes on the water. So it's 42 women on the water. And they were going okay. They were doing okay. But it wasn't what I wanted. So I stopped everyone, and I said, everyone, stop. And I said to them, I want you to paddle this morning like you hate your husbands. Well, you should have seen them go. My goodness. They just went, bam, boom. And they had, all of a sudden, they had this amazing intensity. Now, I don't know why I said that, but it just, I don't know, but it resonated with everybody. And I stopped everybody again, and I said, okay, if you all paddle like that every stroke, every session, every week, I said, no one will come near us. And you know what? No one came near us.
Wow.
We went from losing every race in 5 years to winning every race for the next 2 years, and not winning by a little bit, winning by a mile. We went to the World Championships in Hawaii, and we came second to a team that had won for 10 years.
Whoa.
And that night after the presentation, I bought 2 of the girls in the American team a Long Island iced tea, which has about
17
9
alcohols.
nips.
Yeah.
And of
Too
course
strong.
they were, woo, yeah. And when they got a bit tipsy, I started asking all the questions about their team selection, their training, their coaching, their tactics in the race, their line that they took. I asked them everything that I needed to know to better my team and my coaching. So they were quite forward in telling me all this information. Anyway, the next year we went back and we won the race. And since then we won it 4 different times with 4 different groups of women. A lot of them were mums as well. I had also had one girl who she was incredible. She lost 43 kilos and was selected in
That's it. You're back.
Sorry. My husband was calling. I'll start that again. So we had one girl in our team. She lost 43 kilos to be selected in my team, and she was amazing.
Wow.
She did such a great job, and we won that race. And, you know, for her to be part of that team, knowing what her background was, you know, that's the biggest thing in my life, is that I love the coaching, because I was able to get these other girls and other people, even men trained with us as well, to stand up on the dais, and it was like it was their Olympics. It was their moment in the sun. And the difference between swimming and outrigging is swimming is an individual sport. So when I win, really no one cares. You get a pat on the back and they go, yeah, well done. Then everyone goes on to their own life.
Yeah.
Or if I lost a race, they go, oh, bad luck, and then they go on to their life. No one really cares whether you win or lose. But in a team environment, everybody gets involved, and you remember those moments forever together. And so I paddled outriggers for over 20 years. I coached for over 20 years. We won 4 world championships. I won the world championship solo. I went to Hawaii, probably raced across the channel probably 20 times. Wow. And it was just a time of my life where I don't know, I'm trying to compare it to swimming, and I'm not sure if I can, because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Great.
And I was so fit, and I was so focused, and like you, Anna, you know, you get on the ocean. Well, I'm not sure about you up there. You got crocodiles in the water, don't you?
Yeah, we still paddle
Passing
though.
by.
Except yeah, we still paddle, and they're out there. It's
Well, you can't do changeovers, can you?
Well, we did them at Tierney.
See,
we do changeovers. The changeovers do happen out here. Yeah, I know, right? There's a lot of support crew, and it's not in stinger season.
I wouldn't do it.
You've got to come on. You've got to come up.
I will, but I'm not getting out of the canoe.
They'll get you a special.
But honestly, if you encourage the ladies to paddle like they hate their husbands, they'll outrun a crocodile. They'll be fine.
You'll have to laugh at this, Lisa. Yeah, when I was learning to paddle an outrigger, like I did it went in the 6, and then I was like, come out in a 2. Oh, all right. Because I'd trained, had
you'd be
good
good
at coaching. And anyway, I was in it and I was determined like the engine. And we just went a little bit too far as a double island. And then we turned around and it was coming on dark and we flipped. And then in my head immediately, I'm like, Crocs.
I know.
And we're trying to get it over.
No.
And we got back in, but it was on dark. And that's when I would say, you've got to be careful out there. But yeah, I learned that day.
So Lisa, we've talked a lot about your water experience, your solo and your team experience, and the different joys and the different experiences you had. Since coming a little bit more into the now, I know there's a couple of businesses that you've set up that have, when I researched, really blew my mind. And from what I could tell before, you're sitting in Mali at the moment. Do you live in Mali?
Yeah, this is our property. We have 64 acres here.
Yeah. So can you give us a little bit about that, because it sounds extraordinary as a venue, and I don't know if it's just a venue beyond that, or whether you have full-time retreats or what you do.
All right. Yep. Okay. I'll go back a little bit. So swimming for 23 years, outrigging for over 20 years. I paddle kayaks as well, and paddle rode surf boats. So all of my competition was basically water-based.
Yeah.
Then things changed after I had a bit of myocarditis. So I have a defibrillator. I was in hospital for a month, and it changed my direction, because to go out in the ocean then on a one-man, I needed a friend, an EPIRB, a life jacket, and it just took all the fun out of it. So I changed directions, did my personal training course, and while I was in hospital though, and this is one of the reasons how I met Anna in the first place, when I was in hospital, there was in the cardiac ward, there was a man in the next room to me who passed away one morning, and it was really sad because I'd been speaking to him the day before. And it was then that I decided that I wanted to travel around Australia. And so I had a motorhome towing a caravan, and we started off in Toowoomba, and I think probably our second or third town was Moree, where I met Anna. Yeah. And it was that road trip that it was 2 years. We went to 100 towns. It was fabulous. And that was really the catalyst for change in my life, because I realized that I could really help a lot of people with my personal speaking, motivational speaking, my personal training classes, my coaching from, the past, and the lessons that I learned from my coach, and putting it all together. And then I thought one day I'd love to have my own retreat. and have my own gym here and farm fit and carrying around tires and all that sort of thing. And that's exactly where we are. And I found a notebook not too long ago with all my goals written in it, my top 5 goals. And I looked at it and I went, tick, 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 tick,
Oh, good
tick.
girl.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's a case of where people don't set goals.
Mm.
They think about things, which is kind of wish or a dream, but they don't actually write it down, put it up where you see it every day, and make yourself accountable to those goals. And it really does make a difference. And for me, I've always been a really visual person. So I visualize, I can see what I want, I can see what I need to get there. And along the way, I can so see everything that we needed for this property. And 2 weeks ago, we ran our second retreat. We've had a couple of weddings here, and we stood here and we thought, we did this.
Yeah.
You know, we created what was in our minds years and years ago.
Yeah.
And it's such a big moment for us and for the people who came to our retreats because they had so much fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was a couple of people in our retreat that they actually, I think it's changed their lives.
Yeah.
So we have a goal setting session here and there's a lot of tears.
Yeah.
And we expose people's greatest fears and we talk about them. And then we have a look at what can we do to overcome those and where do we want to be in the future. So that's a real love that I have in my job, and it's something that I can do forever.
Yeah.
So being here on our retreat's name is Marley. So it's the first 2 letters of Mark and Lisa. So it's Marley, which is also the name of our puppy. And we just got a new puppy as well, a rehomed doggy, and he's so cute. So we got Marley and Bernie. And we've got a few more plans for this place. So
good.
Life is pretty good.
Absolutely. Lisa, I mean, like you just said it, you know, you had a couple of people at the retreat that you feel that it was life-changing for them. And if it's just one person at a time, you know, what a better way to be on this planet and leaving that as your legacy.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, Anna knows. Anna, you can probably say to everyone how you felt about, you know, my visit when we're in Moree and doing the boot camp and the talk. And
absolutely, Lisa. Like, you know, I think the thing that has resonated in this conversation is that we all are at different stages of our lives and we all go through different stages. And when you came to Moree, I was at a certain stage in my life after 9 rounds of IVF. Oh, hello.
Oh, we can't see
Good
us.
morning, we see you.
We see you.
Hi, Flynn.
I can see you.
Hi, Flynn.
Welcome. So for me, you know, that was where I was at. I'd a lot of fertility, a lot of emotional eating, a lot of looking after everyone else. So at that stage, you know, you did give me that kick. You really did give me that kick in life. And I did lose weight on your program. And then, you know, as we were sort of saying, we're all on journeys. And then unfortunately, I had other things happen in my life. I lost my brother to melanoma. And then I spiraled again and ate my way through that grief. So when you came into Moree, and a lot of remote towns are so isolated from people that are motivating in a sense, like, you know, fresh blood, we'll call it. You know, you came to town and I tell you, they drove hundreds of Ks to come and see you. And it flicked switches, you know, it woke everyone up. And that tour touched so many people across Australia, and it was incredible to watch and be part of. So this is a new level of that.
Yeah.
So
but in fact, after our last retreat 2 weekends ago, we decided to get in our bus and just drive, just have a few days off.
Yeah.
So we took the puppies and we drove out to Charleville. and we wanted to see the stars in the telescopes at the Cosmos Centre, but it was a thunderstorm, so we didn't get to see it. But anyway, it reminded me of being on the road trip, and Mark actually said, I want to do a road trip around Australia because he can do his shows all around Australia.
Yeah.
And I said, what a great idea. I would love to do it again because I don't know. I think I'm a bit of a travelling hippie or something. I don't know. I love being on the road.
Yeah.
And I love all the little towns and what they offer. And
It's a sense of freedom
just a different, it's a different life. And Australia has so much to offer, but most people who live in the cities, they have no idea.
No.
They have no idea what's out there or how people live and how simple life can be, because as you and I both know, life is precious, and you've got to get up and love what you do every single morning. And if you don't get up and love what you do, you might as well change your job, because there's no point getting up and disliking what you do every single day.
Exactly. And like you said, it goes way back to when you were 16, Lisa, and you spoke to that. Sorry, you listened to someone that one comment resonated and set you up in a certain direction. And like, with your road trip, and then now with your retreats, and potentially, I'm saying this for my own selfish reasons, potential traveling to North Queensland, Trinity Beach, where I live, and the Tablelands, which has got many training areas to be walking and boxing. So what about a remote retreat? Like you could set it up somewhere else. But look,
absolutely.
It's just like you were so disciplined for so many years. So maybe those 20 years of the pool following that line, now you've been released into this new freedom. That's maybe why you love the travel.
Yeah. Well, it's just, life is short. You got to enjoy yourself. Hey, eat that piece of cake.
Yeah, good work. Double. Lisa,
and I have.
I just wanted to tap into that travel thing and your experience. I think part of staying still is familiarity, and that saying of familiarity breeds contempt. It's the same with a job that you don't like. It brings you down. And so when you release yourself, and people will call it brave, but I just think when you start living and moving, you meet the most extraordinary people. The simplest of lives can bring you extraordinary circumstances and stories. Do you remember, say, one person out of that journey? Is there a story that you still do, or you tell it over and over? Because people in these remote areas, that's part of what we're doing here. Everybody has a life story. Everybody has a human experience, and some of the experiences are just so remarkable, and yet they're not told.
Yeah, that's right.
They're in the middle of nowhere. Do you have a person that you met that, even if it's not the whole story, do you? I've put you on the spot here. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not inspired. Well, sorry, I'll say that again. I'm inspired by so many different people. Hang on a sec. Clint, what are you doing?
Escapade. Do you need to go check? We're good.
We can stop and start again.
Okay. Okay, you okay? All right. Okay, darling. No, it's okay. I couldn't see him, so I was just running. Sorry.
Okay. Good grandmother.
I get inspired by people very easily. But the person that inspired me the most in my life is my coach, Mr. King. And everything he said, I use in my life today. So his psychology, his philosophy on everything stands with me. I want to tell you a little story because it kind of helps me now. Not long ago, Mark and I took the kids to Movie World, and I went on the Batman ride. I don't like those fast rides, so I went on the Batman ride, and I was like white-knuckled, and I had my eyes closed and just screamed the whole way, and I was so tense, and it was only a 30-second ride, right? So I got off the ride and went, oh, my back, I've done my back. So, at Movie World, there's that really, really tall, big, I don't know, the green monster ride, whatever it's called. And he said, let's go on that one. I said, no, I can't. My back's sore. I don't like rides. And he said, come on. And I thought, okay, I'll go on the road because it might put my back in. But I was so scared and I didn't want to do it. And he made me do it. And I was nearly in tears. Like, this is only like a month ago. Mark said to me, Lisa, just surrender. Surrender to the ride. It'll be okay. Open your eyes and look around. And that little sentence was like, I don't think he realizes how much that meant, because we were going up and I got to the top and I looked around and all of a sudden we dropped down the other side. I surrendered. It is what it is. And open your eyes, look around.
Yeah.
And I didn't scream. I opened my eyes and I took in. I just like, this whole experience just went, whew. And afterwards I was like, wow, that was like trippy, because I'd never ridden a ride like that. But I think the words, and it means a lot, because you surrender to life, open your eyes, be aware what's around. There's so much that you can do. Don't get stuck in the same spot being scared and tight and in a ball. Just open up and surrender to the world and things will come to you.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That was a long story. Sorry.
No, lovely.
Short ending.
No. But ultimately, those moments are where, again, change is made just in a moment, and it can send you in a whole different direction just because, you actually stop. And I think that's the big thing too, Lisa. And you've been so physical in your life with exercise that when you actually stop and surrender and take a breath, it changes the whole outlook, doesn't it? It's just like you can be so busy, and then all of a sudden sometimes you're forced to stop in life, like, and it hits you, and it's just like, then you just go, oh, okay, this is actually where I'm at. I'm so busy being busy.
That's right. And busyness is also seen as a bit of a band-aid to things that you don't want to acknowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, having these retreats, Lisa, for people to actually stop and take time out of their life and come and spend some time with you and your crew, I'm sure will be hugely successful for many people.
Yeah, we had some beautiful yoga practices as well. So people did get their time to just sit quietly. Yeah, good. It's good.
It's the balance between all of it, isn't it? The boxing and the yoga and the paddling.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
The bang bang, I call it, with the boxing.
So obviously, because I do the research on our guests, I was reading, Lisa, about you've got a business going for optimal skincare, and it's called Happy Healthy You. And what I really liked when I read the bits and pieces about it was that you do focus and understand that your good skin, your good health comes from inside. And so I know that in the beauty industry, there's a lot of products that we're hoping the products whacked on our skin will make the difference. But your approach was really healthy in what I read. And to follow the optimal skin path, you have to deal with your stresses, what you put in your mouth, what you breathe, and all the rest of it. So as far as creating a skin product line, can you kind of give us a little bit more information about that product line and how it works and what you offer?
My company is called Happy Healthy You, and I own this company with my business partner, Jeff Butterworth, who's a naturopath, and he's a specialist in women's hormones and has been for over 25 years. So we have a company, a website that educates, inspires women. We have beautiful articles about every single health issue that you can think about. We have over 400,000 women in our Facebook private group pages. People can go on there and just talk or vent or ask questions, and our team of naturopaths and nutritionists are in there 7 days a week answering all these questions. So there's no other company, I don't think, in Australia that does what we do. Our products are all natural. So we offer alternatives to, mainstream medicine. For example, the symptoms of hormonal imbalance are very similar to the symptoms of depression. And yet, if you go along to the doctor might just easily, within the first couple of minutes, write you a script for antidepressants. And it might be your hormones. It might not be that you're depressed. They tried to give me antidepressants, and I said, no, I'm not depressed. I'm just sad. And there's a difference. But they're very quick to write out that script. So we're offering people solutions to their issues with our products that are all natural. So we have a beautiful range of products. And then I wanted to have a skincare range as well. I don't know. Everything that I saw about skincare, they say, oh, yes, you have beautiful skin. Because the models are all 25 years old.
Yeah.
Of course, they've got beautiful skin.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my skin has been in the sun and the elements for over 50 years. Well, nearly my whole life. So I'm 60 next year. And I really wanted a range of skincare that was simple to use, that was effective, and actually worked. Because a lot of skincare that you buy off the shelves, it goes on your skin and it feels nice, but actually doesn't go deep into the layers. It doesn't do anything for you. So our cleanser is amazing. Our serum is amazing. Our face cream is amazing. And the exfoliator I just love. So it's only 4 products. So you don't have to buy neck cream, eye cream, back cream, every sort of night cream, day cream. Like, it's all condensed, and we made it simple like that for people because simplicity works. My fitness program was called the KISS program. Keep it simple, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Everything gets so tricky and so difficult. But with the skincare, we also have, I've got here, just happened to have one that I prepared earlier.
Oh, good.
So there it is there.
Yeah.
But also with this, we have the Optimal Skin Guide, which is a 7-day eating plan that helps with your collagen and elasticity and the skin texture and everything that you need to make your skin look beautiful. So my skin's not great. It's kind of blotchy, but it's really clean skin because I cleanse properly, and then your makeup goes on really evenly. So that's one of the benefits of having clean skin.
Yeah.
So a clean canvas, your makeup looks better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess also too, and just by default, as it were, so much activity and exercise in your life, and you've probably eaten quite well to be a top athlete, that the skin, no. Oh, okay. Tell us that. No. She's going to tell me about all the bad things she's eaten.
No, I didn't know anything about nutrition really until I was 30 at my last Olympics.
Which you did
and
the
before
fastest
then,
race?
I was
your fastest race.
Your fastest time? So
there we go. As a 30-year-old with 2 kids. So even at the age of 30, I had to find ways that would give me a little bit of an edge. And my eating before then really wasn't that great because I could eat anything, so I burnt it off.
Yeah.
So I could eat anything.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I needed to fine-tune what went into my mouth to make my body work better and faster that I started thinking about my nutrition. So that was around about the age of 30. So I now eat much better. I eat well most of the time, and the rest I enjoy. So we have an 8-week eating plan on our website that we give away for free. We have an online assessment that people can fill in that gives them a snapshot of where they are in their life. And all the foods that we promote on our website for skin health, for hormonal balance, for an alkaline state, basically that shopping list of foods is in my cupboard.
Yeah.
And I just make meals out of all of those foods that are the best foods that I can put in my body now.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say that, Lisa, because when I heard you speak in Moree on your road trip, I remember you saying, when I get older, I want to go to the toilet on my own and I don't want anyone to help me. And you know what? At that stage in my life, I think I was 37, I was struggling to go to the toilet. At 37, my back was really bad because I was so heavily overweight. And it's all related, isn't it? All
Yeah.
it's all connected. So, it's about our future and it's about, looking after our vessel that we've been given. So skin, inner health, it's all connected, isn't it?
Free 8-week eating plan, all the information on the things like Happy Hormones, which is fabulous product, skincare. So that's all on happyhealthyyou.com.au. My own personal website, lisacurry.com.au, is still under construction. I'm revamping that. So I've had it forever, but it's just on hold for a bit. But if they want to come and have a look at what we offer at Marley Retreat, it's what's our website? Marley Retreat. No.
Yeah, marleyretreat.com.
Oh, marleyretreat.com.au. Just need to double check there.
Thank you.
And people can come and do retreats or weddings, functions, anything. This is Mark.
Hi,
This
Mark.
is Mark.
Sorry, Elvis. I mean, Mark.
Marley. This is
That's
Claire and Anna.
awesome.
Hi, Claire and Anna.
Hello.
Yeah, so yeah, we're very proud of that. So if people just follow us on Instagram,
Yeah.
Mark or myself or Marley,
Yeah.
because our retreats sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
But once again, like you said, you know, we can come up and do a retreat up in your area too. It's awesome.
100%.
Yeah.
We'll have to touch base on that
Oh,
one.
and here's the other Marley.
Oh,
Here's the other Marley.
Look at this.
Say hi. Kiss. Yeah.
Oh, kisses for mum. Kisses
Say
for
hi.
mum.
Oh, and a big yawn. Kisses. Kiss.
And this is what life's
Kiss.
all about, Lisa.
Yeah. Lovely,
Dog
nice
slobber.
slobber, relaxing
Slobber.
Sunday morning.
Food everywhere.
Yeah, that's how we like
Yeah.
it.
It's living.
Anyway, that's all right.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Lovely. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
so much for sharing. It's been really great talking to you this morning. And,
You're very welcome. And if you ever want to have any of our nutritionists or naturopaths chat to you as well, like
Yeah.
really getting deep
absolutely.
about women's hormones or nutrition, we've got some fabulous staff members that are just amazing.
Thank
And
you. We'll
you know,
touch
they
on
can
that.
talk to you about teen health as well, which is really important.
Yeah.
And you know, that's there, and we're happy to do that for everyone.
It's all relevant, Lisa. I mean, I didn't realise from all my IVF, I was perimenopausal from probably the age of 34 from revving up my engine trying to have babies. So you know, it's all. Oh, look
And
at
they just keep coming.
This is Bernie.
Hi, Bernie.
Bernie's
This is a
our
new addition.
Bernie's our new rehome dog. We've only had him for 2.5 weeks. He's cute.
He's a superstar.
He's just started to learn how to sit and come because he didn't really know anything.
Really? And that
but he's beautiful. He's a Kelpie cross border collie.
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
All right,
Enjoy
Lisa,
your
thanks.
Sunday.
Have a great Sunday.
Okay.
Happy op shopping.
Lovely to see you.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Well,
did you love that?
love that.
She's just delightful, isn't she?
She's
really
you know
nice.
what? She's just a good Aussie woman.
Yeah. And what I really like hearing sporting achievement stories, but I do appreciate that what she did for so many years was so singular and probably quite lonely, although she didn't use that word, but you know, it's quite
definitely.
But the joy that she got out of coaching the outriggers and
outrigging
and all of that energy that came from
team sport,
team spirit,
team sport.
You know?
I mean that was the discipline came, you know, hearing about that, you know, singular discipline on yourself and learning that from such a young age. Like just to learn that at 16 is, you know, such an incredible advantage, I believe. And I mean, just sharing that conversation with Lisa, you know, someone 16 could be listening and, you know, it really resonates with them. So that was she's just a pleasure to listen to and have on.
And it is tough. So in some ways she learnt to swim because she fell in and nearly drowned. And the parents decided that it was time for them to learn to swim, which all Aussie kids learn to swim. Not everybody around the world learns to swim. So it is very much an Australian thing to get your children to be able to swim.
Absolutely.
And then now most of us don't go on to be Olympic champions. So the fact that coach was at the pool the day that she was swimming,
it was all meant to be.
It's all that thing of how the universe aligns and
absolutely
things that come your way. So
it's all our human experience.
It is an incredible hers is an incredible human experience.
Yeah.
And I could talk to her for ages because I'm sure I put her on the spot with the question about the people that she met on the road, but I'm pretty sure once you have that glass of wine and you're yarning, there's so many people you meet on the road that have these amazing stories to tell. And
absolutely, I just
we're going to have to get on the road ourselves.
I know. And
wow. Hey, Melissa, you ready? We're going to take our human experience on the road.
I just know when Lisa came to Moree and how many people came out from, you know, some people drove 100 k's from out of town. And we were all there for the same reason. And she had some physical training that she did, and she also did some guest speaking. So, you know, She's a very experienced health professional on so many levels.
She's going to be 60 next year.
I know, right?
Blows me away. She's just...
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I want her skin products. I'm going to look like that at 60.
I know.
That would be fantastic.
Same. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what was the website again?
Happy, healthy you.
Happy, healthy you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool.
Inside and out.
So that's my day today.
Yeah.
Happy, healthy you.
Absolutely. And it was so generous of Lisa to offer some products
Go for it.
For some of our listeners. So
yes.
Just listen out, and we'll put some details up on the website.
Yeah.
To be able to go into some kind of draw or whatever we work out to do. But that was very generous of her. Yeah. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Our Human Experience. You can follow us on social media on Instagram and Facebook.
ourhumanexperience.com.au.
Listen to Our Human Experience, where you can pod binge anytime you like. See you next time.
Bye.